time from the pulpit of his own congregation, and it was a thrilling experience. But even more thrilling, I think, was my first encounter with Martin Luther King Sr., whom everybody knew as Daddy King, who was as rough around the edges as his son was polished. And while Martin Jr. was preaching, Daddy King sat in a pulpit chair about 6 feet away and carried on an unending conversation with the preacher. Keep it simple, son. Keep it simple. Don't use all those big words. These folks never been to Morehouse. Half of them been to the poorhouse. No, sir, son. You say we're supposed to love those that misuse us? Oh, maybe you're right. I don't know. I'm trying, but Lord knows it's hard. So you keep it simple, son. Keep it simple. That was the way it always was. The two men laughed frequently about it. I don't know how many times I have heard Daddy King say when a group of people were together, my son has the promise and the makings of being a pretty fine preacher if he'll just listen to his daddy. And Martin Jr. would respond, you know, Daddy, it's incredible how well I seem to do when I'm out of town. You're not there to tell me what to do. After Martin and the family got home from Oslo a few years later, the reception of the Nobel Peace Prize, a group of us were sitting around in a living room, and Martin said, Don, I want to tell you what the high point of the trip to Oslo was. On the way home, we stopped over in London, and I preached at St. Paul's Cathedral. And I was up there in that big, high, elevated pulpit, looking down. There was Mama and Daddy and Coretta and Andy Young and all the others on the second row. And Daddy was so overwhelmed by the situation that he sat there and never said a word. And Andy Young spoke up and said, Martin, I hate to tell you, but it's time that somebody does, and it might as well be me. I was sitting right next to Daddy that day, and sure enough, he had his face buried in his hands, but all the time he was saying, keep it simple, son. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.